Hey y'all, what's up? It's Megan and welcome back. And yes, I know it has been a minute. I'll kind of get a little bit into what happened towards the end of the video because I don't want to take up too much time at the beginning of the videos anymore, kind of going through what happened because I kind of feel like people are probably already bored and it's been 10 seconds. So in today's video, I have my Star Trek shirt on again because I am going to be talking about Pharrell's appointment to Louis Vuitton as their new creative director. And yes, I know the story is 2 months old, but I'm such a huge fan of his, whether it be from his artistry or other collabs in fashion. Still felt the need to talk about it and I want to put my opinion out there, so we're going to talk about it today. Those who want to hear my opinion will stay, if not, that's cool. But if you are interested in what I have to say about it, then of course keep it right here. Let's get started. Now, as I mentioned, I know they announced this a couple months ago on Valentine's Day to be exact. The way I found out about it, I was getting off of work one day and I was just sitting and kind of lollygagging in the car, as I tend to do, because I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I have those moments, for me unfortunately it's every day, where I just don't want to get out of the car for some reason. So I get on my phone and I see the news that they appointed him. At first I let out an audible like scream, like ah! It wasn't like that, but I mean, you know, I was in a car so nobody could really like hear me, and I don't want to do it now because I don't want people to hear me next door. But yeah, y'all get what I mean. I let out an audible scream and I was like, I was so excited, and I mean, it came out of nowhere. I was definitely surprised and kind of shocked, but then once it kind of settled, I was like, this is perfect. And of course I go to Instagram just to see what everybody else is saying, and I'm kind of seeing that it's mixed opinions out there, and it's totally valid that, you know, some people aren't like really feeling it. Way back before they made the announcement, it kind of went into my mind because I was watching a video about someone doing a Louis Vuitton unboxing, and I'm like, when are they gonna announce who's the creative director? Because I mean, the people I had been hearing about was Martine Rose, Telfar. I even kind of heard Kanye West, Grace Wells Bonner, and I truly thought that it was going to be between Martine and Grace, because Telfar, it would have been cool, but I mean, I just don't think a person could focus on two major brands, but running a huge luxury brand and having to still cater to your own personal brand, your baby, I just don't see how that could have worked. So I was like, no, I don't think it's him. And of course, with everything going on with Kanye, it's like, once that happened, I'm like, nope, it's definitely not going to be him. But I still think that would have been a cool collab if he would have had his ish together and been on a better path. He could have been a really viable option. I really think so. I mean, I might be in the minority, but I think I would be interested to see what his direction would be. The main two in my mind were, like I said, Martine and Grace, because I heard the most buzz about them, and I thought it was going to be a really great and amazing step for Louis Vuitton to announce a woman as the creative director of their menswear line. I thought it was going to be a huge look for them to make that announcement. Now, forgive me if there is another woman that's the creative director of a men's line in one of the major houses. I apologize, but to me, I'm not aware of any, so I thought this would have been a really good look. But when they announced Pharrell just out of nowhere, and on Valentine's Day, I think that was like such a good idea to announce it that way. Me personally, of course, I was excited. I'm a huge fan. Like, he has a really good vision whenever it comes to anything that he works on, whether it be his music or his other lines such as Billionaire Boys Club, Star Trek, Ice Cream, you know, his shoe line at Adidas. Even he had a collab with Chanel, which I feel like people forget about. There are a lot of people who were upset because they feel as if, you know, it should have been a person with actual design experience, someone who went to school, you know, fashion school for it. And that's totally understandable, and I get it. A lot of the times these days people want to put people that aren't really the most experienced in major roles, whether it be in fashion, just marketing, anything. I can't really think at the top of my mind of any examples. I'm sorry, I'm sure y'all can. But, and that's a really valid argument to have, and a reason to, and it's a really valid way to feel. But I kind of feel like people are forgetting the fact that he has worked with notable people, like, of course, Billionaire Boys Club, his brand that is, I believe, no, I'm pretty positive, is turning 20 years old, and it is still in business. Now, I think there were some years where he sold his shares of the company, but he came back. I'm not quite sure how that went. He collaborated with Nigo when he started that up. So I feel like he does have design experience just in menswear, you know, just having a direction and a vision in which you want to make for an entire collection. Now, granted, I know this is streetwear, and for Louis Vuitton, this is not gonna all be able to be streetwear. Obviously, there's gonna have to be some streamlined and tailored pieces, and we're not really used to seeing him design in that kind of area. So that's another reason why I'm gonna be interested to see what he comes up with. Now, like I said, like, I understand people are really upset about this because they wanted to see somebody with the actual design experience in there. I totally expected it to go to Martine Rose because I heard about her the most. I did hear Grace mentioned from time to time, but I think Martine was probably the front runner. And that's another thing to think about. But we don't know how long Pharrell's contract is going to be. He may only agree to do a season or two to design for, because music is always going to be his first love. So, I mean, we don't know how long he's going to be the creative director. Honestly, I mean, unless he really gets like fulfilled and he becomes passionate about it. And I really do think that he's going to put his all into this. And that's something people are kind of neglecting to think about too, is that he's not just some random rapper, producer that they're just giving this to. Like, he is passionate about every project that he works on. Now, no offense, but it's not like, don't come for me if y'all a fan of his, but it's not like they asked like NBA Youngboy or somebody to be the creative director. Like, Pharrell has designed for a long time and has a vision and knows how to put that vision into effect and put that out into what he creates. So he is not gonna just half-ass it. He is gonna want to be involved in every aspect of it. I'm not gonna lie, if it comes out that it's the design team that's already in place at Louis Vuitton that's creating everything and he's just okaying or putting his name on it, now I'm not going to be okay with that either. But I feel like he's just such a humble person to where, like, if he knew his heart wasn't going to be in it, he wouldn't have done it. He's so low key. He never wants to offend or upset anybody. So I really feel like if he knew his heart wasn't in it or wouldn't be able to make that commitment towards being the creative director, I honestly don't think that he would have taken the role. He would want somebody who's hungry and passionate for it to have been appointed to the job. So I really think he's going to put his all into it. And I think we're going to see something really, really good. And I cannot wait to see. Another thing you kind of have to think of too is that even though we think of it as, oh, we want to see the pieces, we want people to have experience in fashion design to be in these head roles. But at the end of the day, it's still a business. And as a business, you always want to get the most bang out of your buck. And I feel like Pharrell has a proven track record in being able to sell. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I still want the Pharrell Chanel tennis shoes. I mean, I really do. And those came out years ago. But after all these years, I still wouldn't mind a pair. I just think they're dope. Anyway, yeah, that's just me. And yeah, he got to collaborate with Chanel. He had a collab recently with Tiffany. He has his Adidas shoe line, which he has been having for quite a minute there. So it's not like they just picked him out of nowhere because he's known for having an eclectic style for what he wears on red carpets and stuff. He has worked alongside notable people in the fashion industry. So it's not like they just handpick somebody that kind of has street cred and people know and it's just another celebrity. Like, he has, like I said, a track record that they're able to see that sells, and none of his stuff flops ever, whether it be his music or any of his lines. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Billionaire Boys Club, it did kind of go under the radar for a minute, but the company was still staying afloat. And now, again, I don't know if those were the years where he backed out of it. At least for me, I kind of feel like I have an idea in the direction that he's gonna take the first collection he does, but he might flip a switch and go and do something completely different. And you never know, he might do a really, really good job, and it might be rave reviews about his collection, which would be even more exciting. I know I'm already saving up for my first piece. Now, that's another thing. Will I be able to get something? I mean, you really can never know. It just depends on the reception that he gets. And I'm kind of expecting that it's going to be on the level of Virgil, to where like it's just going to be difficult to get anything. Maybe I could get a small leather good, maybe. But of course, I'm always just gonna go with what I like. I'm never gonna get something just to say I have something. If I do miss out on it, I'm gonna be bummed. I just really feel like I think this was a good decision. Like, I feel like he has a good eye for design. I feel like he has a good eye for attention to detail. One of the NERD albums is Seeing Sound. I don't know if you guys know this, is that when he creates music, he has always said that he has this, I forgot what the name is, something with an S. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen if I find it, because I looked this up before. But he says that he could see sounds whenever he's making music. Yeah, it would have been really cool to see what either of the ladies, like what direction they would have taken the designs. You never know, within the years he's the creative director, either of their brands or both may take off. It's just we'll see what the future has in store, and I just think it's really, really exciting, and I can't wait. Now, I'm hearing rumors that it may be as soon as June that he might have his first collection, but I don't know. I feel like when the news first came out, it wouldn't be until next year, spring summer of 24, that would be his first collection. So I'm kind of confused. I guess it's just going to be a wait and see type thing, because I mean, it takes months, maybe almost even a year to produce like an entire collection. I'm super excited at the end of the day. At the same time, I do understand why people were not feeling the idea, and like I said, it's totally understandable why people feel this way. But I think people also forget that a lot of designers don't go to fashion school. I totally forget who. I don't even know if Virgil went to fashion school. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Kanye didn't go to fashion school, and y'all buying up Yeezy like it's nothing. So I mean, yeah, Adidas, Louis Vuitton, not the same fashion wise. I get it, but that's just my take on it, you guys. Just go in with an open mind for those who may not necessarily be feeling the idea. If you're not feeling the first collection, then you could have more to say. But I mean, who's to say if you would even love it if either of the other candidates would have gotten appointed to the role. Oh, I did forget Kid Super was in the running too, and I think he did this most recent fall, winter, or spring, summer collection. I never could keep up, so I want to say it's fall, winter. I want to say it goes opposite to what we're currently in. So when you're about to approach spring, summer, I think they do fall, winter, and vice versa. Somebody correct me down below if I'm wrong or if I'm spot on. I don't want to talk on and on about it. I think my stance on it is pretty clear. I am totally happy that he's getting this opportunity, and I hope this isn't just going to be a short-term thing. I hope he really just fine-tunes his craft and puts a more hefty footprint in fashion. And that's another thing I forgot to mention before too. He had a previous collab with Louis Vuitton. I think it was just for accessories or just sunglasses, but hey, a collaboration is a collaboration. You're getting to work with the brand, and you're getting to be behind the scenes and getting insight. So that's even more of a reason why I feel like this wasn't like a bad idea, and I don't feel like they made a mistake. But of course, you guys, just let me know your opinions down below. All opinions are welcome as long as it is respectful. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Now, I know it's another elephant in the room. I have been gone again for another couple months. This time around, I don't know if I said it. I don't think I had started yet whenever I made my last video. Is that I did start another job again. I switched companies. I did a quick switcheroo so that I could work closer to my house again. And I do have to go into the office now. So I'm no longer working from home. I have to go into the office 5 days a week. Hopefully, eventually, it'll only be 3 days and I get to work 2 days at home. Fingers crossed that all that goes well. That's pretty much my main reason as to why I haven't been posting, you guys. And like I said, sometimes it's just like I have the time, but it's just like I'd rather just not do anything. And that's a me thing. That is totally something I need to work on. And also another thing that's been happening, and I feel like it's just been something every weekend. It's just like, hey, I have this to do. Or sometimes I just feel like I'm not camera ready. Like I feel like my hair looks disgusting. And I'm like, do I really want to do makeup right now? And it's always like something in my mind to where like, no, next week. I was always putting up next week. And next week never came. But next week finally came around this time, and I think I look pretty cool. I was like, I had to come correct for you guys once again. I know I said that in my last video, but it was like I've been gone for so long. It's like I can't just come on looking a bum, which was my mindset as to why I'm like, okay, I gotta come on looking, you know, right, coming correct and everything. So I hope you guys are feeling my makeup look. Had to be matchy today with my mint colored Star Trek shirt. That's why I've been going, you know, nothing super serious and just a life update. Obviously, I don't know if I should do a life. There's really nothing to update. I mean, I know I did a weight loss journey video, but I mean, as you could probably tell, nothing much has changed. My weight has kind of fluctuated up and down. Thankfully, I have not gained. I've lost and kind of crept back up to around where I used to be, but thankfully I have not gained more weight, so I'm kind of maintaining. But I don't know, I have a trip coming up later on in the year, so I'm trying to get my ish together to where I could lose a little bit of weight, but it's hard, y'all. It's hard. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you don't mind, please give me a like and a subscribe, because that really lets me know that you're liking my content, and that does kind of give me the push to keep on creating more content for you guys. And also, that lets me know that, you know, you want to see more from me, because I need that to know that y'all here with me now. I know it's been a couple months, but I mean, it really still does give me the push. I was thinking about y'all, but anyway, my camera is definitely about to overheat, so I gotta rush, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, I know I look amazing right now, and I apologize. I am a little sick. You might be able to hear it in the video as well that I recorded yesterday. But I just had to come on camera to tell you guys, because I'm glad I looked this up, because it's a lot of notable designers that never went to fashion school. Now, granted, you can't make the argument that some of these designers are older and it wasn't like a thing back then, but I mean, first off, you have Chanel, which I totally forgot about. I don't even think Chanel ever went to school, because they were so poor and she had to be raised in an orphanage. So she just learned how to sew. So she's one example. Then you have Karl Lagerfeld, which is major. Granted, he was at Fendi for all those years, so I guess that kind of balanced everything out. You have Miuccia Prada, no degree. Donatella Versace, which, I mean, I did kind of forget about. I think she just took it over because, of course, that was her brother's brand. Nobody said anything. But, I mean, that's her brother. I mean, come on now. And then you have Manolo Blahnik. I know that's shoes, but I mean, still, it's design, and he has a very successful label. Okay, and then you have Pierre Cardin, Giorgio Armani. I mean, still a very successful and classic label. Jean-Paul Gaultier started up with no design experience. Even the Louis Vuitton's women's creative director, Nicolas Ghesquiere, no design experience. prior to being at Balenciaga and everything. I should say he hasn't been to any sort of design school. Vivienne Westwood, no design experience, never went to school for it. Terry Mugler just started up his label. Vera Wang, which I was very surprised about. I had no idea about Vera Wang. Well, really a lot of people on this list, obviously, but that surprised me. She seems like somebody who studied this just from what I know of her. But anyway, yeah, she never went to design school, surprisingly enough. Raf Simons never went to design school. And obviously, like I just mentioned in the footnote of my video, Virgil did not go to design school. So when you think about architecture and design, it still kind of goes hand in hand. So it makes sense. So it doesn't always have to be having design experience. If you have an eye for fashion, you just have it sometimes. Sometimes there's not enough schooling or studying that could make you a successful designer either. So that's just my opinion on it. Not saying that anybody that may go to school, they may suck and don't have a better eye than somebody that hasn't, but it just all depends on what you do with your creativity and what you do with your designs. So that's just why I wanted to come on camera, you guys, because I had to read y'all off this list for those who may not want to look it up. I almost didn't. This list should really just tell you that go after your dreams, even if you don't have any experience in it. I know I'm going off on a whole nother thing. Do whatever you get the opportunity to do. Don't let naysayers say that you can't do something. I just wanted to come on and visually tell you guys the list of people that have no design experience before they started in their respective roles at fashion houses or creating their own eponymous label. So, yeah, the more you know.